So, good evening, everybody. I'm Ram from the student of the marketing batch. This is Vivek.
Hi.
From the business leadership program, and Arundhati from the HR leadership program.
Hi.
So we are here to have an interaction with all of you today. We'll take the first few minutes to introduce each one of us, and then we could begin with an interaction. So a brief introduction about myself. As I mentioned, I'm Ram from the marketing batch. I have about close to about a year and a half experience before I joined Soil. That was in the power industry. I worked with Fishner Consulting Engineers based out of Chennai for about 1 year and 4 months, for 1 year and 4 to 5 months, and predominantly a design engineering job. And then I came to know about Soil through Pagal Guy. I had an interaction with few seniors who were then batch students, and got interested in the curriculum mode and the way things were being conducted at Soil. So I thought this would be a perfect place where I could align my learning, my skills, and leverage on what I have with myself to become a graduate of business administration, master of business administration. Besides that, a little more other than the academic front, I have done my bachelor's in electrical and electronics engineering. I hail from Chennai, and I read a lot, I write, and I listen to a lot of music. So that's about in a crux of who I am. I'd like to, I request Vivek to take it over. You could introduce yourself.
Hi all. As you all already know, that my name is Vivek. I was basically born and brought up in the state capital of Bihar, Patna. Then I did my engineering in the biomedical stream from Manipal Institute of Technology, and from there on I joined this firm called Tesco, which is the third biggest retailer in the world. So Tesco has this IT wing, and we were more into the application development side. So I have roughly about 5 years of experience there, and then I got to know about Soil through some of my friends, and they suggested me that about this particular college, and then I tried to get in touch with some of the alumni members, and having spoken to them, I realized that it is a fairly good bet to get into, and here I am. We have nearly completed 7 months, and it's been pretty much a fun ride.
Hello everyone. My name is Arundhati, and I'm from the HR leadership program here at Soil 2011-2012 batch. Basically, I'm a computer science engineer from Bangalore. I have about 3.5 years of working experience with Wipro Technologies, and I got to know through Soil through a very close friend of mine who was in the previous batch, and all that she had to tell me, I think she didn't have to do any kind of selling, because today I see that it's worth every bit of it. As a person, I'm a complete maverick. I'm into just about everything: music, dance, painting, theatre, writing. So Soil as a complete package has been able to do justice to all those interests of mine, apart from making me a very empowered HR professional. So that's a brief introduction about myself.
So while I think before we get into the interaction, we could maybe share some of our unique experiences at Soil. So well, each one of us, if we can come up with one experience or a few experiences that has really made our ride so far worth it at Soil for about 8.5 months. So who would you like to go first?
Yeah, I think we could pick up each one of those individual programs, the special programs that we have at Soil.
Sure.
I would like to talk about the mentoring program we have here at Soil. The system is that each student is associated with 1 or 2 industry leaders, and expected to have a one-on-one interaction every month, and this is tracked. I have 2 mentors. The first mentor is the HR director for Airtel India, and the second one is L&D director for Aircel India. Over the past, the program started in August, and over the past 5-6 months, the kind of learning I have had from these 2 people has been tremendous. I think they gave everything I had to learn here at Soil, they helped me in understanding it from a completely different dimension altogether as to how I can use my strengths and be a better HR professional. I think that is one of the key parts that I really appreciate in Soil.
I would like to talk about the SIP, which you guys must have heard about. It is one of the, again, very special features of Soil. SIP basically stands for Social Innovation Project. So as part of SIP, what we do is all these students are associated with one NGO, and they are supposed to, we are supposed to get in touch with them and help them out in whatever way they need our help. So me personally, I'm working with this NGO called Mobile Crashes. So this NGO is basically responsible for coming up with crashes that are mobile, and this particular NGO works mostly for the construction workers. So as you know that these construction workers are most of the times on the move. So if they are at a particular station or particular location where the construction is being done right now, so they'll maximum stay there for 3 to 4 months or 5 to 6 months maximum till the building is constructed. So once it is done, they have to shift to a completely new location. So what happens to their kids? Now this NGO is trying to provide them the right set of education and probably a free meal, so that these kids can get that basic platform where they can build themselves to become a very useful citizen for our country. So now working with these NGOs not only gives you an opportunity to make a difference in the society, but it provides you an opportunity to look at these happenings, how these NGOs work, and how is it actually impacting the society in a very closely. So you actually know that everything that you do, how does it impact their personal lives, and how as an individual you can make that difference to the society. So that is one of the most fascinating things about Soil that I feel that everyone should be excited about.
I think apart from just being sensitive about the social, whatever is happening on the social scenario, this also gives you an opportunity to apply your MBA principles in the NGO sector, where nothing is organized.
Absolutely.
And that is a wonderful learning experience for a B school student.
Exactly. So I was just going to second both of them on that, because on the mentoring front, I have a couple of mentors, one from TBS and the other one from a strategy consulting firm. Both of them giving me some diverse knowledge of where I could apply marketing in each of these two sectors. One is a B2B marketing concept, and the other one was from the strategy side. What is marketing and strategy link? And so there's a lot of exposure that you get to learn from the lot of industry perspective that you get when you associate yourself with the mentors and based on your learnings that you've had. And just as Arundhati rightly pointed out, I think the ability to apply management concepts to an NGO, when you're literally associating yourself to an organization, trying to identify what are the management aspects that you could work upon and build on that is a great learning exposure that you actually get. I'd like to add a couple of more points to that. I think one is the basic faculty platform that we have, the exposure to some excellent faculty that we get from across the country and across the globe to handle some certain subjects for us. So the foundation is absolutely strong for each one of us, because I came here, as I told you, I hail from a power background and I had nothing to do with marketing. So the last 8 months has been tremendous, because they teach you right from scratch, even though it's a 1-year program and it seems scary in the beginning when when you wonder if you'll get the right depth into knowledge. There's absolutely nothing to worry about, because the faculty that we have here, they go in depth. At the same time, they maintain their deadlines to ensure that the course is comprehensively completed with a lot of knowledge into it. That is one general aspect which I wanted to point out. The other one is there's something called Inspire Leadership Series, which happens very often at Soil after the college timings mostly. When we have some very senior industry leaders who visit our campus to share their experiences on what brought them to where they are now, what are their key success points, what are the challenges that they faced, what is it about really applying MBA to the real-time world, which I personally, through my friends from other colleges, haven't had an opportunity to. I understood that this is something very unique about Soil, because each one of these leaders, to the likes of some examples I'd like to give is one we had the CEO of Boston Consulting Group, who was with us, the chairman of Shipping Corporation of India, from General Motors. So some of them were very senior people, senior executives who shared some very vital points of leadership, some very vital points of our career path and career growth, where you actually visualize and see, okay, where do I stand, what is my learning, where do I stand, and to what extent do we actually apply this to a real-time scenario. You do get some time out to interact with them after they are done with their lecture for about an hour and a half. So that is a brilliant perspective that we get over a month, over I think every month that we have had at SOIL so far. So these are two other key learnings which I wanted to specify.
Okay, I think Rohit has a question about the BLP program. Hi Rohit. Well, first of all, I would like to tell you that in the current BLP batch, there are quite a lot of students who are from Infosys with about similar amount of experience that you have. So just to give you an overview, BLP, this program is mostly about giving you, touch of everything about the business world. So it includes marketing, it includes HR, it includes operations, it includes strategy. So it's like everything all packed in 1 year, so that you can sort of figure out yourself that which is that area of interest that you have, or which is the area that in which you would want to excel further, and then you can accordingly choose a career path from there on. So as such, just to talk a little more about what happens in BLP, the biggest challenge that MBA students face is to connect all the theory that they've learned in the program and apply it in a practical life. Now, I'm not too sure about the HRLP or the MLP batch, but this what happens is that most of the things that are being taught here is through a case study. So everything that you learn in terms of the subjects or the theory, you have to apply it in the form of a practical business scenario and see how things will unfold. So that is mostly about the BLP, but I think HR and MLP students can also add up to that.
Okay, coming to the HRLP program, the first 2-3 terms are more or less generic. We study little bit of everything, marketing, accounts, and it's only from the third term onwards we start getting into the crux of HR. So the best part of the course here is we don't have one term end exam that decides what your score is or how proficient you are in the subject. We have pop quizzes throughout the session. If it's a 20 credit session, we have it for 20 sessions. We'll have probably every third or fourth session we'll have a test or an exam or a small mini quiz, open viva, something of the sort to evaluate your learning throughout the sessions, throughout the sessions. And lastly, you would probably have one project presentation. We'll be actually doing live projects. Every subject will be doing a live project, and that is contributing towards 50% of your score. In a way, you are actually applying the theory concepts into a project, and that is being evaluated. I think that follows in all the cohorts as well. Coming to HR exclusively, this is how we follow it. I think this is the best kind of learning we can get.
Marketing is on a very similar note to HR actually. So I think most of it is what is very similar to that. So we have quizzes throughout the 20 session course for each subject. There's a lot of case study application as far as marketing is concerned, because marketing is broadly about applying your mind then and there when you develop a strategy or when you come up with some sales perspective to it. So we pick out case studies of successes and failures in the current industry and try to analyze them, apply concepts to that part, and that's how it goes in a 20 session course, and it's followed by a lot of quizzes in between, as she mentioned. So all right, so we have a question from Suresh regarding the placements at SOIL. So the placements at SOIL has been very much encouraging this year. We've had a good number of placements going on over the last couple of months. The placements began effectively from January, and we've had companies visiting from in various industries. So you get some real diverse thinking when you want to be there. The numbers are pretty encouraging so far. We have about I think about 29-30% of the batch has been placed. The entire BLP, MLP and HRLP batch has been placed, which is pretty encouraging considering the fact that the current economic scenario is not all that supportive, as all of you must be following up with the newspapers. So we're looking forward to the placement, the entire placement to be done ASAP for all of us here. So some of the companies which have visited campus include Maruti Suzuki, John Deere, Infosys, Pfizer. Some of these companies have been visiting campus, and they've recruited several of our students from our campus this year.
There's also so many companies are coming on campus to evaluate the students and the campuses, and and many of them are considering returning back for hiring. I think that's a very encouraging sign we have at the moment.
Absolutely. And we do have several platforms to make sure that we create an impact to these industries through the Inspire Leadership Series and mentorship programs that as we had mentioned. So,
with respect to the faculty members, I think this is one of the promises that TESCO has lived up to. Like, the way they said it, they have delivered it. Because just to give you an example, one of our strategy professors, he is the CEO of one organization. He was the person who had implemented the 30-minute pizza free for Domino's. So you can imagine the kind of people who take out their valuable time from their normal schedule and give it to the students of BLP, HRLP or MLP. So it's in terms of the quality of the faculty members. In fact, 90% of the faculty members are not just faculty members. They are actually from the industry who have about 17 to 20, 25 years of experience. So if you get taught by such people, then there's a lot of practical understanding of the business scenario. So that is one of the best parts about the faculty that we have here.
Well, that's a pretty vague question. Well, this question is to address Aneet S. Bava. Thank you for your question. You necessarily don't need to go through any pre-study material as such, because as I mentioned earlier, the courses, each course that you go through right from your first term, so the first couple of terms, as my peer Arundhati mentioned, are pretty generic terms where you get an exposure of what your management courses are going to be broadly about: finance and economics and general management, project management and marketing. That's when you get introduced. So the course has been planned in a very structured format where it was taken right from scratch till and it's escalated over a period of 5-6 terms. So by the time you have you're in the end of 6th or 7th term, you know that you have the foundation strongly built upon, and then you take a decision for your marketing career. So basically, I would say that there is no great pre-study to be going with as of now. So sorry for that short interruption. We had a power break. So anyways, so as I mentioned, there is no pre-study which would be required. Everything will be structured in a very clear format where you would be going. The foundation will be built, and then the courses will be built over a period of time.
Adding on to that, the HR and the MLP cohorts are open to freshers as well. So the diversity in the class is greater. There are people who are fresh out of college, fresh from engineering college, graduates, commerce graduates. There are also people with close to 6 and 7 years of experience. So the entire course material is structured in such a way that it caters to everybody's need. So unless the professor suggests before the course that there is a pre-read, at least to join SOIL on a generic level, there are no pre-reads or anything of the sort required.
So this question is to address Indivir Arora. So the roles broadly offered for, at least as of now, as far as marketing students have been placed, are broadly to begin with MT sales or MT in marketing, which is management trainee, pardon me. So if you have relevant experience in marketing or sales background, you would be offered an assistant manager profile or the likes, in depending on where you could fit it into the company structure. So that's very specific to the company and the industry in which you're getting into, and it also depends on if you have relevant experience in marketing or sales. But if you don't, it broadly begins with a management trainee profile. Would you like to address that? Which university will we get our certificate from?
Okay, this question is about university affiliation. SOIL is not affiliated with any university. We are not affiliated with DU or any of the universities. We are an independent private PG certification program. It is not Masters in Business Administration. Because if we take an affiliation towards any university, there are some mandatory courses to be completed, and it has to be a 2-year program. SOIL, the syllabus followed here at SOIL is decided by the consortium of 32 companies. SOIL has a consortium of 32 companies, and the key people from these companies, they sit together to decide what is actually required, and it is very much application oriented. So we do not have any affiliation with any university as such.
I think Rohit had another question. What is the difference between SOIL and other 1-year courses? First of all, Rohit, I don't know what kind of reference do you have in mind, but like ever since we've started talking, we have mostly talked about the key differentiators of SOIL, which differentiates this MBA school from the rest of the MBA schools that you know. So in terms of the differences, that will only matter, we can easily point it out with respect to the reference that you have, but as you know that the difference that or the key differentiators of SOIL are easily some of the key factors that we just mentioned, like the mentoring program, the leadership series, the 32 consortium members, so all these things, that the SIP program, so all these things that are clear-cut differentiators from the SOIL's perspective. So probably if you can mention a little more about what do you exactly have in mind in terms of reference, and what are your expectations from SOIL, then we can probably give you a very direct answer.
This question is by
Sukriti Sinha.
Sukriti Sinha. Hi. As to the relevance of HRP, how beneficial it is for a fresher. Like I said, the HR and MLP program do not have any working experience required. There are people, in my own class, there are close to 6 people who are fresh out of college. There are a few of them are masters in political science. There are people from direct BA honors, BCom honors who joined SOIL as a fresher. There is no harm if you join as a fresher, let me put it that way. Benefits of joining as an HR, now the whole concept of B school education will always, you'll always be better off if you have little bit of working experience, so that you kind of face the situations that we talk about. Having said that, there is no harm in joining as a fresher, because like I said, the course is structured in such a way that it caters to everybody's need. There are people, the freshers did a project on performance management system. I think they did a fantastic job compared to those who had working experience, who have actually faced the performance management cycle in the working organization. So it is not a mandate, but if you have it, it works to your advantage. It's as simple as that.
Just to add to Arundhati's point, all those freshers, irrespective of the fact whether you're applying for HRLP or MLP, just keep this thing in mind, that being a fresher, it gives you in a way a lot of advantage also, because you have so many experienced people in your batch that even if there's something that you can't directly correlate with, you can go and personally talk to these people, because ultimately they are your classmates. So such kind of flexibility you might not get even in your in the industrial culture or in the industries that you finally end up joining, because these people have seen the world of the business and they know how things work. So there's a lot of flexibility in terms of talking to these people and getting to know about the actual business scenario.
Adding on to that, I think coming from a placement perspective, the freshers have a better advantage, because at least in my case, the way I saw it in my batch, I had about 3.5 years of working experience with Wipro. I was into IT services. So when the placement season started, I was kind of more inclined towards that, because I've seen what the business process is like. I've seen how IT functions. And of course, I got placed with Infosys. So that was my choice. It was an obvious choice. But for a fresher, I think a wider option,
the horizon is much wider.
Wider set of options to choose from. You want to get into manufacturing, FMCG, IT services, banks, you take your call. And there are also some companies who say, if they're taking experienced people, they say we want experience in this industry. That is when people who have working experience in other industry lose out on the option. But the option for joining as a management trainee for a fresher is still high. The freshers have a greater number of options that way.
I'd like to second both of them on that aspect actually, because I think marketing, as far as the current marketing batch is concerned, we're having a very diverse profile, people from very diverse backgrounds. 1/3 of the batch exactly has been is freshers. So they are and they learn a lot from a very diverse background as far as their interaction with their peers are concerned. And And to reassure you regarding the placement perspective as far as marketing and HR is concerned, a majority of the placement which has happened so far in the marketing batch and the HR batch, I reckon, are freshers. Most of these freshers have been placed, and they are the best bets because students are some of the companies, they prefer, some of the companies when they come here for an empty profile, they tend to prefer freshers because they look at their skills and they say that we build upon their skills. So it's all about their alignment to the respective company and how they showcase themselves at that point of time. But yes, as a fresher, you learn a lot from your peers here. So this is again to answer Sukriti Sinha's question. I would say that is a personal choice which has to be made because ideally I would say what we've had in the last 8.5 months, and I'm sure my peers will actually second me on that, is a very holistic learning as far as Soil's MBA is concerned. We've learned a lot on the knowledge front as far as the academics is concerned. A lot on skill building. We've learned a lot on skill building, individual skill building, trying to align, understand ourselves as a person, identify our strengths, work upon our skills, and make sure that we're able to align ourselves to what is required in the present day industry scenario, and a very holistic perspective of marketing and as far as I'm concerned, marketing and HR and business, as far as the other two cohorts are concerned. So I would say that to us, we are content with this, and we wouldn't personally take up another MBA after this. But again, that's a personal call you would have to take. But I would still say it's a place to be, and it's a totally different learning on a totally different platform when I'm comparing myself to my other friends in other B schools. So the learning is very holistic.
And it's also like we might like to point out that not even the IIMs offer an MBA program. MBA program is only offered by specific universities, like go for Delhi University, Bangalore University. Everywhere else you have a PG diploma program. Similarly, the SOIL offers a PG certification program.
Like ISBs.
Like the ISB, to be specific. So MBA beyond that, after SOIL, there is no necessity as such to be pursuing an MBA after SOIL, but it depends on the interest and personal judgment call.
And just one more thing that I would like to probably ask Sukriti, that it should also depend on the purpose of you coming to SOIL. If it's all about gaining the knowledge and the skill set that you would require to hit the business world, then I think you will be all set and ready to get into that world. But if it's more a concern of probably a degree that you're looking for, then obviously, as they said before, it's a personal call that you'll have to take, because SOIL will prepare you well enough so that you can be a successful candidate in the proper business world. But if you still are running after a degree, then you might take a call later on.
I think I would like to answer this question. To add on what he said, if you're from the academic background and you want to pursue it in the academic stream itself, like higher studies, PhD, and probably a postdoctorate, I was of that impression that I would want to pursue a PhD. So I was a little skeptical, to be honest. But then when I had my interactions, I got to know that PhD requirement, the doctorate research program what we have, PhD requires one of the prerequisites is a master's program. But PG certification does not really qualify as an MBA, so that it might not work for a PhD. But I found out that through one of my professors here, I found out there is something called fellowship in business, which is offered by ISB and other universities, for which a basic 4-year degree program is mandatory, and any certification, PG certification, qualifies for application. So it's not even if you are interested in getting into research, PhD and stuff, MBA, it's your call again, but it's not a something mandatory. You can always go for the fellowship in business, which is tantamount to a PhD.
Industry mentors.
Is it
I think it was about it. Based on previous experience also, and based on alignment of what we've done at ILP. Remember the initial running program, so where we need some gaps to be filled. So you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's one question by Nipun Chawla. How are the industry mentors appointed to students? Is it based on interest of the student or random? So once you join SOIL, in the first week we have this session of ILP where we basically Soil wants to know what are your aspirations and what exactly would you want to take away from Soil. So all those things they consider, once they are trying to map you with a particular mentor, and then with your personal aspirations, Soil, the faculty members or the staff members, they come up with a set of mentors that will be suitable for you, and according to their availability, you are mapped to that particular mentor.
Adding on to that, this program actually kicks off with an introduction with every mentor. All the mentors actually take a half a day off. They come here and interact with the students. Like one of my friends actually chose the person she wanted as a mentor. So that kind of a flexibility is still available, but otherwise the mapping is done about depending on your skill sets, your career interest, and what the mentor has to offer. So, the next question.
It's directed to shows the placement figures for both experience as well as freshers. Thus, I wanted to know how are the placement scenario for freshers, or is it experienced people who run the show?
I'll be speaking exclusively for HRLP where placements are concerned. I think both freshers and experienced people have advantages in their own ways. To begin with, the majority of the people in my class, majority of the freshers are placed. There are people with 0 years of experience straight from BCom honors, BA honors, and even engineers straight out of engineering college, as well as there is 1 or 2 people with close to 7 years of working experience in HR. So when we have such a diverse variety on hand, the companies that come, they also offer roles which cater to the working experience. Even if they are fresher, they'll be taken in as an HR generalist or a specialist in an empty role. They begin with a 1-year training program. Most of the companies offer a 1-year training program, and then they are promoted to becoming assistant managers and the like. If you come from an experienced background, there is also a chance of seeing whether you have worked in HR before, you have relevant HR experience before or not, or at least the relevant industry experience. Depending on that, you will be offered a separate role. So where freshers are concerned, I think you have lots of options. There is nothing like the freshers being left out or the people with experience having a greater experience. The option is open for all. There are companies which prefer something, they come with that kind of profile. It's quite open.
Okay, there's a question by Indivir Arora who is asking what are the positions that the students get after joining as an MD in any marketing department of the company. Well, honestly, I'm not very sure about this. I'm not in a position to answer this question as of now. But to my knowledge, I think they join in as a management trainee for about a year or so. They're giving training in all the aspects of the company and the industry knowledge that they need to gain. Following which, based on your performance and based on your alignment to the company, they decide on where to fit you ideally, and where you will, with which role you would be ideally a good fit for. So I guess that decision comes up after the first year of your training experience at the company. Sometimes this period of training varies from company to company. Some of them have 6 months as their training, some of them have 1 year as their training period. So again, it's very specific to some companies, and I'm not very sure about that. Okay, there's a question by Anish which is asking me, can you please specify the placements for MLP program as a fresher? As I mentioned, I think about the majority of placements that has happened so far in marketing program are only or mainly freshers so far. They have been the best bets where they've been able to portray themselves much better than the experienced people, and they've been preferred much better compared to the experienced people as far as marketing is concerned, because some companies which are a little orthodox, they tend to believe that they want a person who's fresh out of education, whom they can work upon and mold according to their requirement, because some of them, some experienced people tend to come here with some inhibitions from the previous work experience of the industry that you're coming from. So the fresher outlook as far as this particular batch is concerned is extremely good compared to people who've been experienced as far as the placements so far are concerned. We do have plenty of companies lined up for marketing, so we're looking forward to the rest of the batch also getting placed.
One more thing, one more benefit that you have as a fresher is basically you are much more flexible in terms of the options that are provided to you, and that is what companies really like about the freshers, because they know that if they hire you, you'll not have any extraordinary demands, because what normally happens is that once you grow up the ladder of experience, then you start framing up your mindset that this is the particular domain that I would just want to stick to. But freshers are not like that, and that is why companies like to hire such people who can be more flexible in this particular turbulent times when the economy is really going through a tough time. So as an individual, they would expect you to do a lot more, and they might just want you to move around a bit. So as an experienced guy, you might not be very much comfortable with such a scenario, but as a fresher you would be, because it's a new industry. You would want to learn more, you would want to experiment more. So that is why you have an edge in terms of getting hired by such companies over the people who have experience.
And in that particular case, I think soil plays a big advantage for freshers on the whole, because at least the freshers I've been interacting with in my class, they believe that they've gained a lot in the last 8.5 months, which maybe would have been prolonged in more detail, much more in detail if it had been a 2-year course. So they believe that a 1-year course has actually sensitized them to the entire marketing forefront, and people who have been placed, they've said that this is what has ideally been expected from the companies for perspective also. So as a fresher, I think you'll gain quite a lot from soil as a whole. Course structure for HR leadership.
Okay, coming to the course structure at HR leadership, like I said, the first 2-3 terms are generic. We touch upon all the core subjects in a management student would require, or a person into business would require. We begin with accounts, economics, project management, marketing management. We touch upon the basics of project management, and then move towards the core HR subjects. Now, before we actually do that, we have one more subject called HR management that touches upon all the important aspects of HR. There is a sneak peek into all the important aspects of HR, and over the coming terms, we study each of those individual subjects in detail. Like we try to understand what talent acquisition is, what training and development is. We have a complete subject, 20 session subject, where we deal with each of this. And the best thing about this structure is that when it is structured in such a way, it follows the employee life cycle. Like ideally, when an employee he's hired, there is a training done, then he starts working, then there's a performance management system that happens in parallel, there is an employee engagement that happens in parallel, all the way till he leaves, till the exit interview. Now the subject is structured in such a way that it goes along with the employee life cycle. The first subject we study is talent acquisition, then where we get into the details of what all happens in the recruitment process. Then once a person is on board, what is the first training, learning and development plan that is charted out for him, how it is charted out. So this the complete employee life cycle is taken as a background, and the subjects we study are in accordance with the process. So this is how the course is structured. Otherwise, most of the having said that, the subjects are all 20 to 30 sessions depending on the content to be covered, and every third or fourth session there will be a test or an exam or even a viva, open viva, wherein the students are evaluated for the learning process, and then at the end of it there could be either a final exam or a project that plays an important role in evaluating your learning. That is how HRLC course is structured.
Okay, the next question is by Hemant. I believe, Hemant, you have 6+ years of experience, and you would want to know what kind of experience does the current BLP student, batch has, and the roles that are offered to them. Well, we have quite a few students who are in the similar experience range. I personally have 5 years of experience. We have 2 more students who are from the IT background itself. They have 6 years of experience. There's one more student who is from the merchandising background. He has about 9 years of experience. So there are quite a few students who fall in this similar experience range. And the kind of profile that people get offered, like I've been placed with a company called Happiest Minds, and the profile that I've been offered is business analyst. There's another person who has 6 years of experience. He also has been given a similar profile, but I guess in the same organization, the kind of work, the number of people that you will be handling, that'll depend on the number of experience that you have. So I mean, the people with 3 years of experience, 5 years of experience, and 6 years of experience have been hired by the same organization. But and even the designation remains the same, but I believe the kind of work, the roles, the responsibility that a 6 years experience guy will be much different. Now again, it becomes your personal choice whether you want to shift domains or not. If you would want to shift domains, then probably you will have to, probably start as a management trainee and then see how that industry particularly grows. Because personally, I wanted, since I have the IT and retail background, I wanted to stick to it, and which is I got offered from the Happiest Minds. It is again into IT, works on cloud computing, and has client base of retail itself. So that worked for me. But again, it will depend on you whether you want to stick to the same domain that you come from, or if you'd want to shift domains. Okay, the next question is by Vivek. Prerequisite that is expected from the student, or any topic?
Yes, engineering background.
Okay, it would be beneficial for you if you can, probably prepare yourself before getting into an engineering college. So, like in my case, this MBA college. Like in my case, even when I was about to, join SOIL, I started reading a few management books so that I can, just get the drift of what is the kind of stuff that we discuss here at our school. So that, the very first day I'm not all gloomy and find myself wondering that what are we talking about. So it will obviously be better if you can prepare yourself, pick any, simple management book which just sort of briefs you about the simple terminologies that they use here. If you are familiar with all those terms, then obviously you will be able to grasp more in the beginning few sessions, and you will be able to deliver more. So it's just for your own benefit that I would suggest that if you can get hold of a book which talks about these few terminologies that we use, it will be much more beneficial for you.
If not anything else, at least stay in touch with what is happening, the current economic scenario, in Economic Times or anything of that sort. What is happening in the business world out there, just to stay in touch would obviously help.
Because as I said, most of our courses has a lot of case studies and current industry examples involved, so you would be able to relate to it much better when the courses are on. Next question is for you. It says it's from Bala. I have 2 years of experience in mechanical industry. Completing HRLP, what is the career forward I can expect?
Hi Bala. 75% of HRLP is coming from the engineering background. They are either freshers or people with 2 to 3 years of working experience in IT and across domains, but engineers basically. So if you come from a mechanical background and you wish to pursue HR, like I said, you will be in a position to either change your domain completely, or you can leverage your strength. If you have 3 years of working experience as a mechanical engineer, you can leverage your experience and get a job accordingly. So the choice is yours, the kind of the roles you have, the variety of options you have. There are lots the SOIL has lots to offer in terms, but again, the beneficial, you will be able to leverage your work experience, you will be able to better relate to it when we are doing the employee life cycle, the individual topics of it, you will be able to relate to it in a completely different way as compared to the freshers and also people from different domains, different industries. You will be bringing diversity to the class. So that a very close friend of mine from the mechanical engineering background with 3.5 years at Wipro, but he was at Wipro. Now he's joining with me into Infosys and maybe going into the consulting stream. So basically the choices, we have a lot to offer. The choices, you make the choices depending on whether you want to change your domain, change your industry, or you want to leverage upon your past experience and take it forward.
Okay, the next question is by Abhishek. Abhishek, I believe you have 5 years of experience, and you would want to know, if you want to go back to the IT industry, what are the roles that might just be offered to you. So basically, to give you just an overview, the kind of profiles that have been offered to people with similar sort of experience is something like business development, then business analyst, then you can get into IT consulting or normal consulting, and product management. So this is the kind of profile that you'll basically get, even team leader or project manager. So it basically depends on your personal interest, whether you would want to get into consulting, the analyst profile, or people management. For that you might just get a project manager role. So you have these sort of varieties if you have the 5 years plus of experience.
Next question is for HRLP. Does 1-year program do justice to all the subjects that we plan to study? Please let us know if we should go through some important things that we need to go through, and also please mention the placement procedure that companies follow for HR?
Okay. Coming to
Akshi is the name.
Akshi, coming to addressing Akshi's question. Firstly, whether 1 year program does justice to the complete HR program, from my experience, I would definitely say yes. Because like I said, there's something called an employee life cycle. There is employee life cycle that is followed. First, there is talent. A company recruits an employee, then there is training, then the employee is put on board. His performance is assessed, the performance management takes place, employee engagement takes place, all the way. Then, suppose there's a career progression that happens, succession planning. Then, if he chooses to disassociate from the company, he resigns, and there is an exit interview. The whole process. Now, the HRLP, the course program, is designed in such a way that they take you through this employee life cycle itself. We begin with a sneak peek into everything, and then we start dealing with each of these individual aspects in depth. And since everything is application oriented, everything comes with a project, a live case study or something of the sort, we're just not doing the mugging part of it. We're not getting into the theory part by mugging up. We are getting everything through an application. Since there is a theoretical concept which we are trying to apply into a case study or a project, so that is a better way of understanding. So yes, the way the course is structured here at HRLP Soil, 1 year program, complete justice to it. And coming to placements, that depends, again, the kind of roles you get would depend on whether you're a fresher or an experienced person. And if you're an experienced person, whether you have relevant HR experience, or you come from, say, an engineering background or something totally diverse. Overall, wherever you go, whether you're a fresher or a person with experience, it all begins with a training program. If you're a fresher, you'll be directly an HR trainee or a management trainee. Otherwise, you'll be joining as an assistant manager or something of that sort. The designation depends on the company, but a training program will be a mandate wherever you go. Like Infosys has offered me a 2-month training program in Hyderabad campus, and then we will be allotted to our destinations where we'll be working from. So the company will take 2 months to 1 year depending on your working experience and their requirement. There will be a training program, after which you will be put on board. So that is quite common for all the cohorts as well.
So the next question we have is from Praveen. Very interesting question. He says, based on your experience at Soil, what is exactly the philosophy behind the leadership and how it will help to cope up the challenge of competitive global business? So I think each one of us here should actually try to answer, because each one of us have gained a certain perspective towards inspired leadership on an individual note. So I'd just like to share my part of it. Firstly, the model of inspired leadership was something which was very vague when I stepped into Soil. Honestly, I was drawn to Soil more with the industry consortium and the way they were balancing skills to identifying oneself as a person and the product and the subjects that were covered. A very holistic perspective is what actually drew me to Soil. But then the moment I stepped in here, with the exposure that we got to towards leadership right from day one till this day, is subconsciously you were imbibed with 5 pillars of Soil, which we religiously live by, which is ethics, diversity, mindfulness, sustainability, and compassion. So these 5 pillars in some way or the other get depicted in each one of your day's activities, and you do it very religiously once you're here. And this is how they develop the inspired leadership model, where they say that this is what is, even the industry believes that the leaders who walk out of this particular college imbibe the balance between what the change, the transformation that they can bring upon the industry, the current industry, to be a leader of tomorrow, to envision, to think beyond the normal, to think beyond what just academics or what just a normal MBA program can give you. And that, I believe, has been supplemented very well by the Inspire Leadership series, the way you get to interact with the leaders, the way you start retrospecting within yourself and where you stand, what is it you need to work upon, where you need to go. So these are questions which you keep pondering upon right from the day you're here subconsciously, and Soil is the perfect platform where you get onto leadership. So that's when you have one area you start learning about the current global scenario, business scenario. Second platform is how you can map leadership to that. Anything you would like to add? each one of you?
I think Ram has pretty much covered all, but there's just one thing which differentiates the basic philosophy that Soil has and the belief that outside Soil we have seen is leadership. Leadership is something that which is innate in people, which either you have it or you don't. But Soil completely, makes you believe that it's not something that either you're born with it, then only you'll have it. It's just something about
This can be
being yourself and being inspired enough to do something good for the cause that you really believe in. So through leadership, what we are trying to tell people is that it's not that there are only some set of people who can act as leaders of the society. It's there in every individual. It's just that we need to find the cause that we strongly believe in, and then just push ourselves in that same direction. This leadership will come on its own.
Adding on to what Vivek said, I come from a strong HR background now. There are so many schools of thoughts, and one of which believes that leadership is something that's present in everyone. It's innate from our birth. Just that to what level we can display leadership at the right place at the right time, it's dependent on the individual and of course the circumstance. So Soil believes in this concept. Soil very strongly believes in this concept, and over the 1 year, the holistic learning ensures that you are more towards becoming a rounded individual, where you are able to work upon your weaknesses, turn them into strength, or if not turn them into strength, make sure that they don't turn into a disadvantage for you. So the concept of inspired leadership for me initially was a person who makes leaders. A leader is a person who can lead others, and an inspired leader is one who can make leaders out of his followers or people who he leads. But coming here, I see how much the various aspects, the actual core aspects of what goes into becoming an inspired leader, and how we can work upon our own strengths. We have an individual learning program that happens at the beginning of the year. We have a caliper test, the psychometric test that talks about our personality. We talk about our strengths and weaknesses, and based on that we start our whole career path over the 1 year. We decide about how do we work on our strengths, make it even better, how do we work on our weaknesses, make it good enough, and then at the end of 1 year you are a completely different person to what you were when you joined Soil. That's my personal opinion of what an inspired leader is.
So the next question is from Anish, who wants to know more specifically with respect to a fresher and MLP program as a whole. So first of all, Anish, I'd like to reassure to you that 1 year program is not a hindrance for freshers at all as far as marketing is concerned, because you're given the right foundation, and this, I guess, is what you need. The sensitizing of you as an individual to marketing concepts, to sales concepts, to various aspects of marketing that you're likely to face when you step out is what you need, and that foundation has been very well laid for all the freshers so far. As I told you, 1/3 of our batch comprises of freshers, and about 50% of the freshers have already been placed at very good roles with Tata Motors, Maruti Suzuki and Ashok Leyland. So they've been offered very good roles, very good empty profiles, and their efforts have been really appreciated, their knowledge. So what they expect, what the companies expect from you when you come out as a fresher is your ability to apply what you learn. If you've been rightly sensitized, if I must put it that way, if you are able to correlate what you learn as theory to practical applications, then you should be able to succeed when you step out into the business scenario. So don't think of 1 year program as a hindrance, because that is most of the freshers whom I am interacting with, my classmates, they feel this is highly beneficial. This is an accelerated program where they don't spend too much of their time. It's just 1 year, but they're gaining as much benefits as their friends are from other universities as well.
Interesting.
Okay, so we have a question from Abhishek which asks, is 100% placement expected for the current batch? I think all of us here are aware of the fact that we're going through an economic turmoil.
I think first and foremost, all of us are placed.
Oh yeah, so by the way, all of us have been placed, so that should give you some good sigh of relief, reassurance at least. She's been placed with Infosys, as she said. He's been placed with Happiest Minds, and I've been placed with Ashok Leyland. So 100% placement is what all of us have been working towards, and all of us have been working for, both as from the students' perspective and from the management's perspective. But there is an economic turmoil, and that factor needs to be kept in mind. So we're envisioning this batch to be placed 100% in the next month or a month and a half or so. We're looking forward to it as it unfolds. We do have many companies lined up, so we're just looking at it day by day, and with each company visiting campus.
So Praveen has a question about do each students get the opportunity to work on the live projects, or does it depend upon the mentors or the coach? Well, basically, it's more like a graded course that we have at SOIL. So each and every individual has to be a part of some live project, and they have to finish it by a particular date which has been mentioned before. So what the idea behind this live project is that first of all, since it's a 1-year MBA program, so the time is basically the biggest issue. You have to study everything, and you also need to get exposed to the real business scenario. So what we have done is all these mentors that every individual gets mapped to will belong to one particular industry, and from their industry, whatever issues that they're facing in their real business or the companies that they're working with, they'll try and work with you people to sort of come up with a solution. So this will not only give you a perspective of how things work in the industry, at the same time you can apply all the learnings that you've had at SOIL and see to what extent to what extent can you actually have you actually learnt it or understood it, and how can you get better at it.
Okay, apart from the Action Live project, which is the Guide to Decide programs that addresses their issue, and so it's not just the course. If you have the opportunity, if your mentor is willing to give you a project, or even if your NGO is actually willing to take up live project, if you want it, if you can accommodate the time, you can take more than what the college has to offer. If you don't want to do it, if you're not inclined, or if you don't have the time for it, there is always one project, one complete course, Action Live project, that addresses and ensures that every single student will work on a minimum of one live project.
The next question is by Rohit again. Rohit, I think you have a doubt about the curriculum. You would want to know more about the business, the curriculum in the BLP, and the internship that we have, and probably the mentor-mentee mapping. Curriculum wise, I think as I told you before, it's more like the curriculum has been designed in such a manner that it's more, consider this BLP thing as more like a general MBA program, where you get exposed to all the major elements of the business world. Like it could be finance, it could be marketing, it could be HR, it could be strategy, anything and everything that you expect to get exposed to in the real business world. You will get a flavor of all those elements in the BLP curriculum. With respect to the mentor-mentee mapping, as I told you before, that once you join SOIL in the very first week, we have this session of ILP, where as an individual, what are your aspirations from SOIL, what are your aspirations from yourself, and expectation from SOIL, what is the biggest takeaway that you would want to have once you have done your MBA. So all those things, you write it on a piece of paper, and that piece of information is sort of scanned through to figure out what exactly would be the best industry for you, or probably you would want to get into, and accordingly how can you be exposed to that industry, or similar sort of mentors who have had experience in those industries or domains. So accordingly you will be mapped to those mentors. Lastly, you had a question about internship, is it? Internship. So as such, we don't have in any period allotted where you can go and work with these companies for 3 months or 4 months, because it's just a 1-year MBA program, so time is one of the biggest issues that we face here. So what we do is, along with classes, we give some time during the week, say like a half a day on Monday, the rest half you can utilize and go and meet your mentors, discuss your project, discuss what you're doing, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing, and all those things you can discuss it during the class days, the normal class hours that you have. It's just that you'll have I know it becomes a little more hectic, but then I think this is the fun of 1-year MBA program. It will be really stressful, but then ultimately it is preparing you for the worst.
So the next question is by Gini Rana. Could you please tell which course is better to enroll? Would you suggest marketing or HR program? So I think myself and Arundhati should be able to give you some insights about marketing or HR program, but it broadly depends on which career path you would like to adopt on a long-term perspective. HR is a totally different line in itself. Marketing is a totally different line in itself. So if you would like to work back on where you see yourself 15 years down the lane, and then come back to where you want to go from this point forward, I think that'll be great. But having said that,
I think you can talk about why you chose marketing and why I chose
exactly.
HR.
So having said that, I think I'll throw some light on why I chose marketing. So my purpose of getting into marketing program was broadly about aligning my skills. So I was just doing a retrospect on myself and seeing if I should maybe wait till I get about 3 years of experience and then apply for business program, because I was broadly impressed with Soil's model and I had decided to apply for Soil. Then I was contemplating if it was HR, marketing, or a business leadership program. So I knew I wasn't eligible for business, but then marketing, I was able to align my skills with that. I tried interacting with a few people in the current business scenario, with a few of my friends who gave me some insights on what the career path looks like if I get into a marketing profile, and I felt I would be a successful person when I come out of that. Having said that, when I went through the curriculum for marketing, I felt it was very holistic, and that is exactly what I needed at this point of time to ensure that if I had enough exposure to all these aspects, I would be able to make a wise decision when I get into marketing as a career.
As to why I chose HR, like I said, I have about 3.5 years of working experience in the IT services. I was an engineer with Wipro. So after completing 3.5 years, I knew from my own experience that my strengths lie in people management. I was good at communication, I was good at interacting with people. So I was looking for something in the people domain. I did a small workshop. I attended a small workshop that spoke about what HR is all about. I spoke to a few friends who are from the marketing. And again, since I had 3.5 years experience, I was eligible to apply to the BLP program as well. So I did speak to a few of my friends who are working in operations and in project management, in finance, core finance. It just comes down to deciding what your interest lies in, and my interest, like I said, my biggest strength and my interest was completely people oriented. So I chose HR. It's your choice where you would like to see yourself 5 to 10 years down the line, and what your current strengths, weaknesses are, and what your interest is more than anything else.
So the next question we have is from Aneet S. Bava. What are the class timings? Does Soil assist in fetching up accommodation nearby? The class timings, ideally the day begins at 9 o'clock with morning circle for 15 minutes, where the entire batch gathers together in one of the floors. We have a prayer followed by some wonderful sharings that would begin our day with positive energy. 9:15 to 10:45 will be our first session. 10:45 to 11 we have our first break, tea break. 11 to 12:30 will be our second session. 12:30 to 1:30 will be our lunch break. 1:30 to 3 will be our third session. 3 to 3:15 we have another tea break. 3:15 to 4:45 will be our last session for the day, and we close at 4:45. But having said that, if some faculty insists that they need to continue and they need to compress their program in such a way that they are available post 5 p.m., then classes are liable to extend to maybe 7 to 8 in the night. We've had classes, marketing batch, we've had classes till about 7:38 in the night at times, because some faculty, they finish their work and then they join us in the evenings for classes.
And the leadership series happens post classes. So most of the leadership series that happens once or twice a month will be from 5 to 6:30.
Right. Yeah.
So officially the college timing is from 9 to 4:45. Beyond that, depending on the requirement, the classes will be extended all the way till 6:30 or 7:30 as per the faculty demands.
As far as the accommodation is concerned, you do have plenty of options nearby for accommodation, and we as present batch seniors could help you with that. But having said that, we're not completely aware if Soil is also helping you out with the accommodation as of now. You could get in touch with the marketing and admissions team to inquire more on that front.
I think there's one question by Abhishek. Can you please elaborate on roles what people with 5+ year experience in IT can look for? So I think I've already answered this question before, but then for the benefit of all, I'll just like to name some of the opportunities that have had come to Soil so far. Recently, HT Media is one of the organizations that you might be aware of. They have shared a profile for product manager, where the product would be shine.com. Then again, Happiest Minds had come for the business analyst profile. I believe you might be aware what exactly do business analysts do. Then you can also get the profile of IT consulting role or normal consulting profiles like Great Places to Work had just shared. Other than that, I think Tech Mahindra had offered a profile of business development. So these are the major profiles that I can think of. Do you guys can?
If it is exclusively HR and with more than 5 years of experience, you will be taken in as HR consultant separately, not what the Infosys had to offer. HR consultant within the company, you'll be taking about you will be on the succession plan towards becoming the HR director for the organization.
And obviously the project manager and the team leader profile, which was just shared by Maverick Systems.
Right. As far as 5 years plus in marketing is concerned, we haven't had a profile as yet, but from what I can tell you as far as Soil's experience is, 5 years plus, they usually look at a relevant marketing experience if you do have any. Then they try to pitch in for a senior manager or brand manager profile. So that's how it is. But if you don't have a relevant experience, then they try to see a right strategic fit for you and then accordingly offer you a role. As far as marketing is concerned, because they believe you need a foundation in sales and marketing if you need to take a career forward after 5 years of background workings.
Prabhakar, I think Prabhakar has a question about the certificate, basically the degree that is being offered by SOIL. It's more of a certificate rather than a degree or diploma. Quite frankly, Prabhakar, I think if you do a research on all the MBA colleges that are in and around India, I think you would know that all these big institutes like ISBs, they also give you just one certificate, and even IIMs just provide you a diploma. But I think the key factor that you would need to decide is if the industries are already aware of the talent that you have, and this is the debate that is actually going on in the industry for a while, because most of the MBA institutes have been providing education which is more of a good for the theory purpose. But as you know that SOIL is an institute which has been sort of co-created by 32 consortium members. So these companies basically know what is the demand of the industry and what is the expectation that they would have from anyone who's so-called the MBA graduate. So in terms of the curriculum, it is absolutely designed as per the needs of the market. And trust me, if you can cater to that need, if you develop the right set of skills, nobody actually cares whether you have a degree or a diploma. Even if you have just a certificate, which even ISB provides, and you know how well the ISB students do. So it's on the similar lines. If you have the skill set, the companies will actually not bother whether you have a certification or you have a degree. Okay, Arun has again a question on the profile that people from the IT background get. Like recently, as this organization Happiest Minds had come, they have offered the profile of business analyst to all the experienced people. Then there's another company which is coming, HT Media. They have offered a profile of product manager. Then Maverick Systems had come. They have offered a profile of team leader and process consultant. So there are so many, and basically which is IT consulting. And Infosys is senior associate consultant. So in terms of profiles, I think anything that you can think of the mid-level managers and probably the higher level managers, depending on the number of experience that you have, you will definitely get an opportunity to give a shot at it. If you're really thorough with your preparation, there's no way you will not be able to reach up to that level. Aruna, I think I've just answered this question. It's again, this curriculum has been designed by the 32 consortium members, so they know what is the expectation that they have from the students who are so-called the MBA grads. Do they understand the industry well? Do they have the right set of skills, which is not just theoretical? They can, they know how to apply it in the practical business scenario. If they do, that is the skill set that these people are looking for, and which is why SOIL is stands a better chance at impressing these industry members, because they are the ones who have decided what should go into the curriculum. So and accordingly the students are getting trained as per the curriculum designed by them. So it actually doesn't really matter to them whether you have a certificate or you have a degree or a diploma. Ultimately what they're looking for, do you have the right set of skill, do you have the right knowledge? If you have it, you are most welcome. So this is the kind of approach that these organizations use.
percentage breakup? A very interesting question.
Percentage will be classroom and books will be okay, Arun has another question about. I know it sounds quite a lot to take at one shot. We have SIP going on, the leadership series going on, mentorship. So as I said, I'm not saying that it's gonna be an easy, fun-filled ride. It's gonna be really tough. It's gonna be really hectic because it's a one-year MBA program. So you have to understand they're trying to squeeze in everything that you would want to learn from any MBA school. And at the same time, they are trying to add value to your own profile by exposing you through to the mentors, to all these industry leaders, so that you as an individual can add on a lot of value to yourself, your profile. With respect to classrooms, I don't think you will have any complaints about having enough classes, because we have hardly any days where we don't have classes from 9 to 5. I think in about 8 months of time, there have been only 5 to 6 times that we've had any half a day, and that even has been mostly because we have to meet some mentors or we have to go attend some leadership series. But again, the classes are not compromised because you have all these things in place. For SIP specifically, yes, there is one day allocated, which is like every Wednesdays you have to, the full day is allocated to do your NGO work. You go and meet these people and do whatever work is specifically related to that NGO, and nothing related to what your course is required, which requires you to do.
We aren't aware of that as yet.
Yeah.
What is that?
What will be the batch strength of 2012-13? That's a question given by Abhishek. Honestly, we aren't entirely aware of that. So I think if I'm right, the admissions team is targeting about 150 students on board. Although that figure isn't confirmed yet. Internship in the money course now.
Actually, there is no internship as such, which is being expected out of the soil students, because they know.
Actually, they tried it last year and they found that towards the end there was a time crunch. The last year batch did do a 1 month internship in various companies, but then towards the end they had trouble in completing the course.
Yeah.
So this year, instead of the internship, we are doing an action live project.
Yeah, which is again mostly that your mentors whoever are mapped to your profile, they'll be expecting you to do help them out with one of the issues that they might be facing in their organizations. That way you not only get to get exposed to that business world, at the same time you are working under the guidance of the biggest leaders of the industry. So that will definitely help you in implement whatever learnings that you had at Soil.
I'd just like to add to that. Sometimes you do have the exposure to have more than one action learning project. If you're done with one in about a month and a half or so, you have the entire about 5-6 months at hand, wherein you could opt for another project. If not your mentor, you do have, as we get in touch with companies for the placement process, some of these companies step forward and offer some action learning projects first, where they would like to get a feel of our students, where you also get the right platform to showcase your knowledge as far as and Soil as a whole, and bring them on campus for placement. So you need not necessarily restrict yourself to one action learning project through the course of the year, because several of my own friends and I myself, we've been working on more than one project at a time. So you do have the platform to go in for that. So you have some very holistic exposure as far as action learning project is concerned, and I'm sure that you won't feel the gap of not being in a 1 month dedicated internship period.
Okay, this question is by Arun. Arun, you probably want to know where have I been placed and what is the role offered. First of all, I've been placed with this organization called Happiest Minds. It's fairly a startup because it started last year in April. I don't know if you know Mr. Ashok Soota, who was the founder of Mindtree. I'm pretty sure you must be aware of that organization. So he's the one who has come up with, he's founded this organization as well. This organization basically works on the cutting edge technologies like cloud computing, mobile technologies, and social computing. So the role that has been offered to me is business analyst, because I personally wanted to get into IT consulting profile. So the best way to get into IT consulting is do some business analysis for a while, get in touch with the clients that you have, get exposed to it, and then probably take the next leap forward. So this is what is all about my profile and the role offered.
So we have a very interesting question from Praveen. He says that he read in Hindustan Times that soil, ISB, and Great Lakes are emerging as trendsetters of tomorrow. So he wants to know what is common between soil and ISB. Ideally, I would say that the only thing that is common between soil and ISB is that it's a 1-year program, because the platform of education is entirely different. ISB, in my personal perspective, ISB is a lot more academic and theory oriented, with more focus on maybe the academic side of it. But soil is entirely different. As I said, more into inspire leadership, skill building, holistic development of you as a person, to be made as a leader of tomorrow. Helping you realize where you want to go to take this step forward. So the only common base I can see between soil, ISB, and Great Lakes is each one of these offer a 1-year program. So otherwise, everything else is entirely different as far as soil is concerned. So we have a question by Sarvesh. What is the assessment criteria for students during the course tenure? Does soil conduct formal examinations, or is there something else? So honestly, I think this differs from each faculty. Each faculty follows a certain pattern of evaluation. Some of them, they opt to have, as Arundhati would have said earlier if you have been with us, some of them opt to have quizzes at the end of every third or fourth class. Some of them opt to have just a project where you directly apply whatever you've learned through that course in that project, and you make a presentation followed by submission of a report, or you have a written examination at the end. So it's highly specific to the faculty who's handling that. Another mode of evaluation which commonly takes place is case studies. We have case studies maybe in almost every class, where they look at they put you in groups, and each group is made to present their view of that particular case study and how they apply the concepts, and accordingly that is also being evaluated. So there is no rigid pattern as such, but it varies a lot, and it's very interesting to go as you follow it up with each course. This is a question by Lagnajita. Hi Ram, can you please tell me more about your role in which you have been offered? So I've just been placed with Ashok Leyland. That was just late last week, so I haven't been mentioned regarding my role yet, but what I'm told is that it's a holistic marketing and sales profile, and that's what drew my attention to this particular role, because it has a lot to do with sales, market research, and marketing strategy development. So this is what we've been briefed as far as the company is concerned, but any specific role hasn't been specified as yet. So I should be hearing from them the next couple of days. So we have a question from Praveen. What is the scope for a student from a non-IT background? I think we'll take this perspective from each cohort. So as far as marketing is concerned, as I mentioned earlier, we have a very diverse background. We have 2-3 students from manufacturing, many of them from the project management background, few of them from brand management, some of them from power, some of them from minerals industry. So there's a lot of peer learning that goes into the perspective of discussion, because when you have a case study, for example, I'm just taking an example as far as marketing is concerned, when you have a case study put up and it is with respect to one particular industry, the perspectives that come to it from different angles is very diverse when you interact with people from IT or non-IT or manufacturing or any other background for that matter. So the prospects is very good. We have enough number of, as far as placements is concerned, I think we have a good balance of IT and non-IT companies visiting campus every year, as records must be showing on our website. And that's as far as the placements are concerned. But otherwise, I think we have a good mix in all these cohorts where they get to interact with each other and learn a lot from each one of them. You would like to add anything to that?
Praveen, I think the only question that I would probably have for you is, are you looking to again change your domain? Because that is one of the biggest questions that all these companies would ask. Because if you would want to, then you will have to justify the reason. Right. You will have to justify the knowledge, the skill set that you might gain through this period of 1 year. So if you can justify it, then I don't think there should be any issue at all, because there have been so many people who are not from the IT industry and they've got into the IT industry. There are a lot of people who are from the IT industry, they're willing to get into the operations in the supply chain or the manufacturing sector. It's just that you have to justify it in front of all those people who come and interview you. If you can do that, I think you're just good to go.
Coming to the HR, I think it's a matter of coincidence that the 75% of the class come from the IT background. Having said that, we have also got people, freshers from political science, commerce, philosophy backgrounds, and that should not matter as long as you're clear about your choice. Most of us from IT wanted to go back to IT, we chose. But those of the students who are not from IT, they have also gone into IT organizations. They've also gotten placed in IT organizations, and also those from IT have actually moved out. There is one person who was working with Infosys in the HR batch before, and she got placed with Mercer Consulting. So she'll be joining as a consulting for compensation and benefits. So it's completely your choice.
And about that.
Okay, Arun has a question about the mentorship program. What sort of mentors are assigned, and I think you would also like to know about the talent appreciation process that we have. Okay, first of all, the mentors, I think I've said it before. Once you join Soil in the first week, we have this session of ILP where it's more like you trying to get to know yourself. So you will have certain aspirations from yourself. You will know what are your strengths and how you can sort of leverage that strength to get into a particular industry or excel at that industry. So accordingly, they scan that piece of information and try and figure out what will be most suitable for you, and then try and invite all these mentors from those similar industries and see if they are available to take up this very responsible job of mentoring all these students. So if they are available, they will definitely be mapped to you, mapped to your profile. But in case you are not willing to go ahead with the kind of industry your mentor belongs to, then it might be changed as per your request. But again, you have to understand that just because he's not from the same industry, it will not be entertained, because normally these people are some people who are basically exposed to a huge diverse set of industries. So they might be at some point of time working in the telecom industry, then they might have had some experience on the manufacturing domain itself. So it becomes very difficult for any student to say no to a mentor, because they'll have it all. Any question that you have about any particular industry, they will definitely be aware of it. So I think that should answer your question.
And adding on to that, it's like this happened with me. I was a little curious about I was more interested towards the L&D profiles. So when my first mentor was allotted, he was the HR director. He came from a sales background basically, and he's been donning the HR director role for the past 4-5 years. So when I was asking more questions into my stream of interest, and I informed the team here at Soil the same thing, they actually tried to put me in touch with one more mentor. I got one more mentor who's exclusively into L&D. And where my previous mentor is concerned, he started putting me in touch with people from his own L&D department. So that way you can actually work on their network. They'll help you to network with more number of people in your stream of interest, even if they are not directly involved over there.
And regarding the talent appreciation process, I'd just like to put it in very simple and short words: just be yourself. There's no prior preparation that's required. Be yourself. Be clear of what you want from Soil. Be clear of what you're looking at on a long-term perspective, and that should pull you through. HRLP fresher placements. Throw some light on that.
I think I should say that the first person to be placed at Soil from the 3 cohorts was a fresher from the HR batch. She got HR generalist role, and she's placed with John Deere, Pune, manufacturing company. So the kind of opportunities, like I already said, if you're a fresher, you'll be taken in as a management trainee, 1 year, up to 1 year, depending on the company requirement, 6 months to 1 year training, and then you'll be put on to a senior role, into somewhere in the middle management. And anything specific, the kind of industry or the kind of job role you're looking for, that is completely personal, that's your choice. You have a lot of options to choose from. So whether it does not matter whether you're a fresher, as long as you're clear about what you want to do.
So we have a question from Praveen. He says, what standards of behaviors are required for the leadership? What preparation is required apart from understanding basic business functions? I think ideally we don't have any preparation as such as far as leadership is concerned. I would say come here with an open mind to learn more about yourself, learn more about where you want to go from this point forward, learn more about how you can apply education and knowledge that you gain here to the real-time scenario, and envision yourself to a certain extent and on a worldly perspective. So it's all about looking at yourself as a leader. So there's no preparation as such. Come here with an open mind and enjoy the ride. That's the basic thing.
Yeah, this Bala's question regarding PG program being a hindrance for higher education. Like I said, I am interested in pursuing my PhD sometime down the line, probably 5-6 years down the line. So I was a little skeptic about whether a PG certification program will be sufficient or will I need to do an explicit MBA, Masters in Business Administration. So I got in touch with one of my professors here and I got the clear-cut picture that if you want to do a PhD, then a Masters in Business Administration, a Masters, official university given Masters degree is mandatory. For that instance, it was surprising to know that people from IIMs who have graduated from IIMs cannot apply for a PhD degree. Having said that, there is something called a Fellow in Business Leadership, which is equivalent to a PhD, which also confers a doctorate that is given out by ISB actually at the moment, and also Bhubaneswar University, for which you just need 4 years of a degree program and probably a certification and relevant working experience of about 4 years, after which you can apply for directly to this Fellowship in Business Leadership, which is equivalent to a PhD program. So in a way, PG program certification will not be a hindrance to higher education.
So I think we've had a wonderful time interacting with all of you. We wish you all the very best, and hoping and looking forward to have you all on board in the coming year. You can feel free to interact with any one of us, and at any point of time should you require any clarification. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All the best.
All the best.